well, they have to be all things to all people. Their stock price demands that when they are trading at something like 100 times their current revenue, it's obvious that their current revenue is not what they're being judged on. Everybody is assuming that they're going to become 5 or 10 times bigger. And now Bill McDermott and company have to prove that this is the case. So you have to go after CRM. And I'm legitimately curious how that ends up going, because if I were an enterprise and managing my CRM, I would probably just stick with my Salesforce, come what may, because it is a standard and it has all the integrations in the ecosystem already. There's no real reason to shift from a functional perspective. Like, not that people love using Salesforce as a CRM, but people don't hate it and people know how to use it. So what's there to
But
think about it?
it's the same thing, reason why SAP and Oracle and any of these big giant companies stick around for a long time, because the cost, the pain and suffering of getting off the platform is so high, and it's very difficult to create a value prop of why another system is that much better to do it. And I do think it's really interesting to compare and contrast this to Salesforce. And Salesforce clearly also has a whole bunch of SKUs, etc. But I do feel like I can much more succinctly articulate Salesforce's product suite and strategy than I can ServiceNow's at this point, which is an interesting turn of events, I feel, because it's like, but right now Salesforce is like, you can disagree with the strategy, but it's pretty clear. It's like they've got their core data solution, they've got CRM, they've got service, they've got their collaboration platform, they've got their analytics platform in terms of Tableau. It all sort of hangs together. It all sort of, and now they get Agentforce that sits on top of it and sort of activates the whole thing. It's a pretty concise little package. And I feel like I can't do that with ServiceNow. And I feel like every time they do one of these, I'm adding more pieces to the puzzle. And so I think, because it seems very clear to me that you're seeing this sort of war shape up with others, but really between ServiceNow and Salesforce, at that large enterprise play, I do think it's interesting. And so I think it's going to be really fascinating to see how the CRM part plays out, and if they can make an honest go at it, given that they have so many other irons in the fire. But it was interesting.
Yeah, ServiceNow definitely has an opportunity to take on the enterprise applications. And I'm interested in seeing how that push against the status quo goes, because Workday to some extent has made some progress in that field, talking about their ERP capabilities and building on top of HR, doing some finance, which is going so-so, but it hasn't disappeared. So Workday has shown that you can push your way into ERP from other places, and now it's ServiceNow's turn to see if they can do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be interesting. It will be very interesting to see. I think Salesforce has a vulnerability with CRM. They focused on everything but CRM over the last 5-6 years. I won't say it's stagnated, but I think it is definitely sort of plateaued for them. And so there is potentially an opportunity there, but to your point, I'm not, unlike I think in the days of when Salesforce first rose, in the days of Siebel and others, where there was a lot of pain and suffering, there was a pent up demand for another option. I'm not sure I'm feeling that. I mean, there are lots of options right now in the CRM space. There's Zoho, there's Figure CRM, there's plenty of there's HubSpot, which has effectively disrupted it, right? So I think right now there's plenty of other competitive options, and I don't know that I have not heard ServiceNow's pitch feel all that compelling as to what makes them truly different in that space. So I guess we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I think it's going to be a very interesting couple of years between them and others. And speaking of others,